What would you do if your husband, known for counting every kobo like his life depends on it, suddenly transferred 5 million naira into your account and then called you in panic saying, "I made a mistake"? That is exactly what happened to Chioma, a woman who had spent years surviving a cold marriage filled with silence, insult, and emotional neglect. A husband who never gave her peace, never gave her joy, and never gave her enough money for basic needs, suddenly made one costly error. Because this time, destiny pressed the wrong button. The same man who secretly spoils another woman in the city mistakenly sent the money to his wife instead. And what Chioma did next shocked everyone in the neighborhood. Because sometimes, life doesn't ask permission before exposing secrets. And sometimes, one single transfer can destroy lies built for years. But the biggest shock was not the money. It was Chioma's decision to pause instead of returning it immediately. That pause changed everything forever. Chioma was once a happy young woman full of dreams and hope. When she married Chinedu, many people envied her. He looked like a responsible man. He spoke well, dressed neatly, and always acted like someone with a bright future. Everyone believed she had secured her life. But reality came quickly after marriage. Chinedu was completely different inside the house. He was stingy in a painful way. From the first month, Chioma noticed the change. Asking him for money became a serious discussion. Even basic household needs turned into arguments. If she asked for food money, he would look at her like she was wasting his resources. If you managed last week's money well, why are you asking again? Those wants became part of her daily life. Slowly, Chioma
asking too much. She learned how to survive quietly. She reduced her needs. She stretched everything she had. She learned how to endure hunger and disappointment at the same time. But what hurt her most was not just the stinginess. It was the loneliness. Chinedu stopped treating her like a wife. He no longer talked to her with care or affection. He lived in the same house, but felt emotionally far away. It was as if Chioma was only useful for keeping the home running. Unknown to Chioma, Chinedu was living a double life. In the city, there was another woman named Tonia. To Tonia, Chinedu was different. He was sweet, generous, and caring. He sent her money freely. He took her out. He called her my peace and made her feel special. The same man who argued over small money at home was spending big money outside. Chioma began to notice strange things over time. Late-night calls that stopped suddenly when she entered the room. Sudden business trips that never made sense. A happiness on his face she never saw when he was with her.
But she had no proof, so she stayed silent. She prayed quietly. She endured everything. She even started doing small side jobs just to survive and help the home. Her marriage became a silent suffering. Chinedu, on the other hand, felt in control. He believed he had mastered the system. One wife at home who asked for nothing anymore. One girlfriend in the city who received everything. 2 lives perfectly balanced. Or so he thought, until one simple mistake destroyed everything. A wrong transfer, a careless button, and 5 million naira meant for his secret life landed in Chioma's account instead. That morning began like every other morning in Chioma's life. She woke up early, cleaned the compound, and prepared a small meal. Chinedu had already left the house before sunrise, saying he had urgent business meetings. Chioma did not question him anymore. Questioning only led to stress. After finishing her chores, she sat quietly in the small living room. Her phone was old and slow, but it still worked. She was scrolling without thinking when suddenly a bank alert appeared. She frowned and opened it slowly. 5 million naira credited. For a few seconds, she did not understand what she was seeing. She blinked repeatedly. Her heart began to race. 5 million naira? To me? Her hands started.
shaking immediately. Before she could process it fully, her phone rang loudly. Chinedu was calling. His voice was not calm. It was sharp and panicked. "Chioma, did you see any money in your account?" She swallowed hard. "Yes, 5 million naira just came in." There was silence on the line. Then suddenly, his voice changed completely. "Don't touch it! Don't spend it! I made a mistake!" Chioma sat down slowly. A mistake? 5 million naira? Something felt very wrong. This was not a man who made such mistakes. And that was the first moment doubt entered her heart fully. She looked at the message again. Then she asked softly, "What mistake, Chioma?" He replied quickly, almost aggressively. "I sent money to the wrong account. I will fix it. Just leave it alone." Then he ended the call. Chioma stared at her phone for a long time. Her mind was no longer calm. Something inside her whispered clearly, "This is not a simple mistake." Chioma sat quietly for a long time. Her mind replayed everything she knew about Chinedu. His stinginess, his sudden changes, his secretive behavior. Nothing about him matched a man who would mistakenly send 5 million naira. She picked up her phone and called her friend Ngozi. After listening carefully, Ngozi said something that stayed in Chioma's mind. Men don't mistakenly send 5 million naira. Chioma became silent. That sentence opened her eyes. She made a decision. She would not rush to return the money. First, she would understand what was happening. She sent Chinedu a message. "I need confirmation before any reversal." Then she waited. Immediately, the panic increased. Chinedu called again and again, but Chioma stayed calm. For the first time, she was not reacting emotionally. She was thinking something was wrong, and she was going to find out. Chinedu's calls became more aggressive. "Chioma, reverse the money immediately!" But she refused to rush. Then, slowly, truth began to leak out. She started noticing inconsistencies in his words. His anger was not normal. His fear was too personal. Eventually, she discovered it. The money was meant for another woman. Tonia, his secret girlfriend. The woman he called Peace. Chioma felt something break inside her, but she did not show it. Instead, she stayed calm. That evening, Chinedu returned home angry. He paced around the house like someone losing control. "You were trying to destroy me!" he shouted. Chioma looked at him quietly. For the first time, she was not afraid. "You said it was a mistake," she replied softly. Chinedu froze for a second, because he knew she was no longer blind. The next day, everything exploded. Tonia arrived at their house. She was angry and confused. "Where is my money?" Neighbors started gathering. Chinedu tried to explain, but everything was falling apart. Then, Chioma stepped forward. Her voice was calm. "The money came to me." Silence. Everything stopped. Chinedu's double life collapsed in front of everyone. Tonia stared at him in shock. Chioma no longer needed to shout. The truth was already enough. After that day, nothing remained the same. Tonia left immediately. She refused to be part of lies. Chinedu was left alone with his mistakes. Chioma did not celebrate revenge. She did not shout or fight. She simply chose herself for the first time. She used the situation to rebuild her life slowly. She started a small business and focused on her future. And Chinedu, he lost both control and respect. Because sometimes One mistake exposes everything, and the woman he ignored becomes the strongest story in his life. Chioma didn't win by fighting. She won by finally seeing clearly. And that was enough.